Lionel Cat. 21. The demon from Dekalb. Shout out to 21 Savage, and most importantly, shout out to y'all. Shout out to Publish X2. Coming with some crazy vids. We ain't gonna talk too much. We're gonna get straight into the video.
Glenwood Road is a neighborhood located in the southeast part of Atlanta, Georgia. If you're traveling through this area, it's not uncommon to be greeted by abandoned homes, illegal signs, and graffiti. The neglected neighborhood has a crime rate 67% higher than the national average, making it a hub for poverty and gang activity. For most residents, the thought of making it big is out of the question, but this is the same area that's responsible for giving us one of the most successful and respected rappers of today, Shia bin Abraham, professionally known as 21 Savage.
It's a lie.
Although born in Plaistow, London, he and his family would move to Atlanta when he was just 7 years old. Growing up in the city's east side neighborhood, he was exposed to drugs and violence at a young age, forming an interest in things like toy guns, which would eventually evolve to the real thing. This would quickly turn problematic after being expelled from every school in Dekalb County for bringing one on campus. Being on probation and only in middle school discouraged him from even wanting to go. Stability was becoming scarce. His mom moved around a lot and his dad was the first person to expose him to crack and other drugs. But that wasn't all he was exposed to at a young age. He even watched his uncle get murdered outside their home. Losing family and friends almost became normal to him. When the only people you're around that appear to be winning are the drug dealers running the streets, they become something like a role model. They drive the nice cars and carry stacks of money. So like many before him, hopping off the porch to get it on his own became his only goal.
As I got older, it went from just liking guns to like liking the lifestyle. Like hit a lick, come through the neighborhood, like new truck, Tahoe truck, they got bags of weed on the trunk rolling out the bag, like all that type shit. So it turned into me like looking up,
loving the lifestyle.
Like, man, I want to be like that.
His mom moved the family to the suburbs in an attempt to keep him out of trouble, but now they could just barely afford the rent that was now much higher. Seeing her struggle only pushed him to the streets even more as he wanted to make money. By 9th grade, he dropped out of school completely and started selling weed in the neighborhood. Of course, this led to more crime like robbing and experiencing his first shootout at 14 years old. Although he was taking a lot of risks, the money was slowly stacking up, so to him, it felt like he was on the right path.
21.
By 15 years old, he had saved up over $15,000 that he used to move out of his mom's house and into an apartment that he trapped out of. He, along with his friends, joined the Bloods, and their only motto was, if you had something and it was nice, I'm taking it. According to him, over the next few years, there was almost no crime that he didn't commit besides robbing a bank. It wasn't until 2011 that he started to see that maybe this road would only lead him to death or jail after his friend Larry was killed. Just 2 years later, on October 22, 2013, which was also his 21st birthday, he and two friends were sitting in their car, about to go pick up some females. A man opened their back door and started firing shots inside, hitting all three of them. Another friend of his named Johnny was struck in the head and died right in front of him, while he took 6 bullets to his collarbone, shoulder, and neck. Although wounded, he claims to have disarmed the man and taken his gun to fire shots back. After a close call with his life, and shortly after experiencing his first child, he said it turned him into a full-blown savage, birthing the name 21 Savage.
The streets, trying to get the fuck out the streets. Really, niggas just want some money. I ain't no backpack rapper and nothing. I just get in the booth and just, just spit that flavor.
21. Our next guest is one of the hottest names in hip-hop, here to perform his hit song, Bank Account. Please welcome 21 Savage.
Up until this point, he had never considered rapping as a legitimate career, but he was known for being able to spit some bars. One of his friend's uncles saw there might be potential in him though, and he offered to pay for his studio time. In the booth, it came natural, talking about things that he actually went through in his everyday life. His earliest songs and visuals were dropped in late 2013, but didn't gain enough attention for him to leave the streets and do it full time yet. Despite this, he continued dropping songs every few months and making powerful connections in Atlanta. The foundation of his success to come can partially be credited to the producers who
2013, I feel like he would have definitely fit in with A$AP Rocky and everybody. You know what I'm saying, put in work. You know what I'm saying? Everybody making music at that time going crazy. I definitely feel like he would have fit in.
backing him up before his career was even promised. DJ Plug, Sunny Digital, Zaytoven, and Metro Boomin were all already reputable names, and to see them producing and promoting his early work made it something you had to listen to, even though almost nobody outside of the city had heard of him yet. After his little brother Tayman was killed in 2014, he decided to go all in on his music, even tattooing a knife between his eyes in remembrance of his brother who had the same one. 3 back-to-back mixtapes was all it took for his name to start buzzing in the underground. The Slaughter Tapes, Slaughter King, and Free Guwap projects were not wildly successful, but they showcased the potential he had as an up-and-coming artist. Blogs were already referring to him as the underground king of Atlanta, and singles like Red Ops were reaching over 1 million views online. But it wasn't until 2016 when most of the world would start hearing his name, and that's due to the iconic release of Savage Mode with Metro Boomin, which gave him his first platinum song.
Metro Boomin.
By now he was just finding his cadence, which sounded much different from the music he was releasing just 2 years before, and when paired up with Metro's beats, they became instant classics. More importantly, his music and image had a sense of character, and he painted a picture of a supervillain in his music. People found interest in a rapper with a knife tattoo on his forehead and gold teeth, talking about running down on his enemies. It was hard not to enjoy the stories, even if you couldn't relate.
Everywhere you see me at, 30, hanging out. Everywhere you see me at.
The success of the tape took him from a local artist in Atlanta to a mainstream name. Now he was being featured.
The best double X freshman class. After that, it was just like and double XL kind of No offense to double XL, but it's like they could do better with the list they choosing.
All over the internet and making the cover of magazines like XXL. But with this kind of attention also came a lot of pressure. At the time, Atlanta's trap scene was peaking and artists were getting attention like never before, but also falling off just as fast. With his first studio album drop approaching, he still had a lot to prove. ISSA album was released in 2017, and if there was ever a discussion about 21 Savage falling off, this may have been a point where people have doubted him. On paper, the project peaked at number 2, which sounds great, but the feedback from most wasn't. This person wrote, "It's great background music, but it won't be on any album of the year list," while another person added, "I'll probably bump a few songs in the car, but it's nothing too special." As a trap artist, the chances of breaking out into the top 5% where you see commercial success like Future or Lil Durk is small. And if you asked anyone in 2017 if 21 Savage would be in that conversation, they probably would have told you no. He had catchy and hit songs, but not something the everyday listener would be tuning into, and that's where you would have been dead wrong. Bank Account, A Lot, and Rockstar are just a few examples of songs that were released in the following years that surprised everyone and opened their eyes to just how big he could possibly become. These would break streaming records and even earn him a Grammy for Song of the Year with J. Cole. 21 Savage is one of those artists that you tend to underestimate, and every time you did, he proved you wrong. He found a way to tell his story not only in a street way, but also blend in with songs that can be played on the radio and reach the masses. Every project since then has gone on to reach number 1.
Yeah, because when that J. Cole do what happened, I thought that was a thing. He showed that he could, you know what I'm saying, he could step. He showed that he could step for real.
I Was, Savage Mode 2, and Her Loss. In addition, he's been featured on just about every other major artist project in recent years and built a reputation as a top-tier rapper. Overall, 21 Savage's rise to fame has been marked by hard work, dedication, and commitment. Despite facing challenges and setbacks early in his life, he's managed to overcome them and make a change for the better. His music and legacy will continue to impact the hip-hop community for years to come.
Man, shout out to Published X. Shout out to 21 Savage, and most important, like I said, shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all for all the love and support. Love is love, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video.